Let me ask you something. Can you answer a question? I've been quote-unquote debating with some people in the ID crowd. I pose some direct questions, and in lieu of actual real answers, I usually get stock quotes from Behe or Dembski or a handful of the ID proponents. So I figured I would open it up to the people here on YouTube and see what kind of answers I can get. Now, first of all, how exactly did the designer or designers go about putting his, her, their design into practice? I say his, her, their because no one actually really knows who the designer was. So we've got some options. Did they use tools, their bare hands, or is this sheer will? Is it telekinetic? Did they just kind of go in the kitchen, make up a recipe here? Now, I'm not trying to say it's God, because Dr. Behe even says it could be a human, it could be whatever. Different theories posit that it's aliens, so again, if it is, who designs them? Anyway, now is life on the planet now exactly how it was designed? If not, how has it changed and why? What forces are at work? Are we humans in 2009 exactly the same as God, the designer created us? If not, how have we changed? If we haven't evolved physically, or even if we have we evolved mentally? That is to say, more complex thought processes. Now, if we look back in the past, I mean, some things were taken kind of as common knowledge. Things like the humors, things like phrenology, the size of your skull, the shape of your skull. For a long time, the geocentric model was the model of Earth. Even with the heliocentric model, there were some things that were off about that. We're making great strides, but we still don't know. Aristotle, even being the great thinker he was, he actually believed in the geocentric system. He was a brilliant, brilliant philosopher and made a great deal of wonderful contributions, but just having lived after such great scientists, Newton, Watson, Crick, knowing about the helix, all this stuff. I mean, Aristotle even thought of spontaneous generation as a fact. It wasn't until many, many years later that we realized that it's not. Now, this is a tough one. How exactly do you understand the theory of evolution to work? Now, I have to do a little background on this. We're talking about theory. We're talking about a scientific theory. We're not just talking about, oh, hey, that's just a theory, as in speculation or conjecture. So please, do some research, figure out what a scientific theory is before you answer. Now, we're not talking about the origin of life, which is abiogenesis. We're actually talking about evolution, the theory of evolution through natural selection. So please stop turning this into a no one can explain the origin of life. Evolution doesn't claim that. Okay, now a little background here. We're talking about basically science and the scientific method being sort of daydreaming, and it was posited that yeah, a lot of science starts with daydreaming, but it's put through the scientific method. And this guy also claimed that it can have dangerous consequences here about false place of the universe. So the question resulting from that is what kind of quote-unquote dangerous consequences can come about from daydreaming about a possibility and then applying the scientific method to test that. And then moreover, what exactly is man's place in the universe? Now, are we ascribing to some sort of, I don't know, great chain of being theory, where there is this order in the universe, where it's God, then angels, then nobles, and commoners, and then, rocks, plants, and animals. I don't know. Okay, how do you understand the scientific method? This is what the scientific method looks like. Again, if you're unfamiliar with that, do some research. You should have learned about that in probably elementary school science class. Make some observations, you make a theory, you test them. Okay, anyway. This is pretty self-explanatory. Compare and contrast. How exactly is ID the same or different? You can use a Venn diagram, could be helpful. Science, guys, science, which ID claims to be, is a knowledge. It's tested. I don't know. It's science. It's so hard. It's a system of knowledge. When you abandon this testing, the scientific method, you end up having faith. Faith is just belief for something there's no proof. There's no proof in a designer, but you trust in it anyway. So, just any response would be wonderful. Thank you very much.